WLHR, Las Vegas Hot Radio, the heart and soul of Las Vegas music.
Stay tuned for What's Up Las Vegas with your host, Lynelle Baker.
Right here on LasVegasHotRadio.com.
What's up, Las Vegas Hot Radio? It's your girl, Lynelle, and we're here today with Mr. Dwight Baxter. What's up, Dwight?
What's up, Lynelle? How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm great.
So, ladies and gentlemen, Dwight has an extensive background in Broadway theater. He's had, plays that have toured all over the country. I know one of the plays, Matthew Knowles was the executive director. He has a lot of new projects coming up. So, Dwight, tell the listeners a little bit about, how you got started in the industry and, how old you were,
Wow.
I know it's expensive, so we'll probably have to take a couple commercial breaks.
Sure, Lynelle. Sure, why not? Well, I'm Dwight Baxter from Houston, Texas. A graduate of High School of Performing Visual Arts back in 1974, so, I go back a little bit. Graduate of HSPVA, and I went on to Purchase College. But during that time, I was a dancer. I wanted to be a dancer. I was inspired by, of course, Mr. Sammy Davis Jr. And so I always wanted to be a Sammy Davis Jr. kind of guy. So, and what I mean by that, a great dancer and a great performer, and that's who that man was. But anyway, long and short, as I was entering into my career, I started out as a dancer from HSP high school, which I was the first graduating class in 1974. Matter of fact, the same school I think Beyonce and a lot of great people all attended. And so now I'm working on quite a few great projects. But getting back to the history, I found out that, to be a great dancer, you had to study ballet. So I found this man named Arthur Mitchell who came to Texas for the Texas Regional Ballet Festival, and I never heard of really African Americans really doing ballet, but he spoke with us. He said, I'm starting a new company called the Dance Theater of Harlem. I said, wow, okay, well, I need to be a part of that. And during my, younger years, I said, I need to study some ballet. So I started studying ballet, and then from there it just kind of took off. And I was like, believe it or not, I was so crazy about wanting to be a dancer. I used to take the bus in my tights, okay? Now imagine a young black man, okay, in tights on the bus, okay, on the city bus, coming from high school. I was really into, but that's me. I'm an arts advocate. I like to get into it, okay? And so, but now I found that was stupid to do. But anyway, moving right along. So I really enjoyed being a dancer because watching Arthur Mitchell, then I found out more about Louis Johnson, Atkins-Campbell. These are great African-American dancers from way back, and who kind of started everything off, Jimmy Thurston. I'm really going back now. And so, there's a great history of African Americans in classical ballet. And so I really wanted to be a classical ballet dancer. So guess what? The only place to go to is where? New York City. So there I go. I said, I'm going to New York, Mama. So I took my Jack in the Box money. I was working at Jack in the Box, and I flew myself up to New York City and went to Dance Theater of Harlem. So I then saw a man named Keith Lee, who was working with American Ballet Theater. He was one of the first African Americans to work for the American Ballet Theater. And I said, man, I never seen a black man do that. Then I saw Arthur Mitchell from New York City Ballet. I said, wow, I could do this. And then, of course, there's the greatest entertainer in the world, Mr. Sammy Davis Jr. But in order to be a great performer and to compete on an international level, as Arthur Mitchell always said, you have to have the classics. You have to have the ballet. Just like as a singer, you have to know how to use your voice, okay? So that's how you study voice.
And you have to know the standards.
Right, exactly. So from there, I said, you know what? I'm going to do this. So I took my BB self and I went on out there and just started doing it. And so, I started studying ballet at Dance Theater of Harlem up on 152nd Street in Harlem. And I studied. And I started studying, and then I found more great black dancers. It was a humongous, because those are from Detroit, Chicago, L.A., small towns big cities like Washington, D.C., in the Carolinas, Alabama. I mean, they're all over.
Who are some of the people that you dance with? Any people?
Oh, wow, God. Well, I mean, I've danced with Lydia Barker, who was one of the prima ballerinas. Virginia Johnson, who's now the new artistic director of the Dance Theater of Harlem. I had a crush on her back then. But anyway, I married a ballerina. Her name was Stephanie Dabney, who a lot of people know in the dance world was the great. She was known for the Firebird and the Stravinsky's Firebird. And Stephanie and I were together for a while, and we were both at Dance Theater of Harlem. And so Arthur Mitchell started another company called the Second Company of the Dance Theater of Harlem. That was the first venture under the direction of Mr. Walter Raines and Miss Mary Barnett. So all those who know the back in the day era, you would recognize those names because those were great names in the world of dance. Because Mary Barnett became one of the artistic directors over at the Alvin Ailey School and Alvin Ailey Company, along with Judith and everyone else. And it was a good myriad of people because then there was George Faison, there was Lester Wilson, Michael Peters, Jimmy, again, not Jimmy Thurston, but yes, Jimmy Thurston. But there was a whole lot more. Donnie McHale, Trina Parks, John Parks. Just a lot of people. And then there was a movie called The Wiz that came up.
I remember The Wiz.
Yeah, so I had an opportunity to work in the film The Wiz under the leadership of Mr. Lewis Johnson, the choreographer and director who did Curly, as well as several other shows on Broadway. And matter of fact, one of the shows I did with Eastern Grand Opera which got me to New York was called Tremonisha, Scott Joplin operetta under the leadership of David Gockley, Eastern Grand Opera, and producers out of New York, Neil Newton and everyone. And we were at now the Uris Theater, but it's now the Gershwin Theater. And then we moved over to the Palace Theater. But anyway, long and short, that's how I got to New York, besides, of course, college, which was Purchase College.
So back to The Wiz, because you can't just Wiz has that, because that's major. So The Wiz, you were in the movie or the Broadway play?
Well, I did both. I did the movie. And when I say both, I did a touring company of The Wiz. I did it for a short period of time. But what was I about to say? The movie version was fun because, of course, we had Michael Jackson, Lena Horne, Ted Ross, who's the brother Ted Ross, a great man. He worked with me on another show called Daddy Goodness, which is under the Berry Gordy's leadership of Motown. And but anyway, working with those great people, Missy Russell and Michael Jackson, it was wonderful. I mean, the whole thing. Having visitations of Miss Coretta Scott King on the set, and just working with Sidney Lumet and everyone, and Quincy Jones, those were the great days because I was part of the Skeleton Crew. The Skeleton Crew was a crew that worked how just kind of work out the choreographed numbers before you went into filming, and to work out a slight rehearsal before filming, going into production. So I had the opportunity to be on that crew with quite a few wonderful, outstanding dancers like Larry Vickers, who else was with us as Larry? Bruce Heath and Mabel King and Mabel Robinson. Carlton. God, it was the best of the best from the West Coast, East Coast, Paris, London. Everybody came into work, and we all used to rehearse at the St. George Hotel in Brooklyn. Those were the great days. Those were the great days of dance. Even working with George Faison and Jeffrey Holder. Those were the great days, in dance for me.
Oh,
and beyond that, of course.
You made a lot of great connections and lifelong friendships as well. Instrumental people in the industry.
Mm-hmm. Yes. And not only that, from there, I found out about a place called Las Vegas, Nevada. Yeah, I had opportunities. Yeah, I had Las Vegas. That's right. Caesar's Palace and the MGM Grand Hotel. That's when Don Arden had Hello Hollywood. Hallelujah Hollywood. I think that's right. Hello Hollywood. Hallelujah Hollywood. I think that's correct. Well, yeah, those are days like with Jackie Ford, Debbie DeCruzro, all the great dancers, Jamila Harrison. Those were the great days. A good friend of mine named Rich Rizzo, we worked a lot together. But I worked with Raquel Welch because those were the days when we had the Lola Falana, the Shirley MacLaines, the Ann Margaret, the Debbie Reynolds. Yeah. So I was behind those girls because those were the ladies of Vegas. You know, that was a silver circuit because you went from Vegas to Monte Carlo, you know, and so it was class. It was class back then, you know.
Yes,
and
for sure.
It was class. I remember meeting up with Wayne Newton, Siegfried and Roy, and it was just a wonderful period because a lot of the guys, we all, of course, we were the backup dancers for all the ladies, and that was a time, especially as a black man. You know, there would be one black guy, that would be me, or maybe one of my friends like Larry Vickers or Tony White or somebody like that. They'll be working with some of these shows, you know, Bruce Heath, and Jerry Grimes, the late Jerry Grimes, or Winston Hemsley. But anyway, those were the fantastic days. Michael Peters, you know, working with Michael. That was even Aretha Franklin. She used to play a lot at what was the what was the hotel? Not the Hacienda, but what was down the? It was on the Strip where Lola always performed. I forgot the name of the hotel because I think because Darnell Williams, who played Jesse on All My Children, used to dance a lot with Aretha.
Oh, I remember Darnell Williams who played Jesse.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Darnell was a dancer. Darnell was a dancer first. Yeah, Darnell was a dancer first. But anyway, moving right along, those, like I said, the great fun days of just being in show business. Period. I mean, show business was show business back then. I mean, you had the big shows, and then you had the Vegas Strip acts, you know, and you know, because I remember when we were working behind Mr. Sinatra, the marquee would say, "He's back." They wouldn't say it's nothing, just "He's back." You know, and so I mean, that was Vegas. I mean, that was really the working at Caesars. Then we started at MGM Grand because we used to open up for what's his name, the singer of the Pillsbury Doughboy. What's his name? Paul Williams, and Dean Martin. Yeah. First it would be Paul Williams, then it would be Dean Martin, because that's when the guys were really loud.
You worked with the greats. That's amazing.
Yes, ma'am. And so those were good times. And then opening with Bert Bacharach back in those days, and David Brenner. I mean, it was just great times. You know, being at the Hilton Hotel in Vegas when Lou Rawls was there, and I mean that was show business. You know, I know it's still show business today. It's just a little different.
It's changed a little bit today, though. It's changed.
Yeah. It's changed a little. But, I mean, it's like, you know, I remember I was doing a show called Grind on Broadway with Ben Vereen, and Sammy Davis and Eliza came backstage, and just to hear them talk, you know, it's like they would talk to the business, but it's the way they did it. It's like, you know, you were really there. You know, you got that feeling. It's like what Maurice Hines used to say a lot. You get the real feeling of show business when you're around greats like that, you know. Because I remember Gregory Hines very well, his brother. And miss him so much, you know, But anyway, those were the guys that, you know, they knew business. They knew show business, you know, even though it's the business of show, it's still show business. And that's the great thing about learning that. And one thing also that I learned working with Lester Wilson, a wonderful choreographer, director, and everything. This man was just fab. He worked a lot with Anne Margaret. And was that when he was on the set or he was in a show or a choreographer director, you got to have three eyes. One for the cameraman, one for the lights, and listening to the director. Yeah, you had to be there. You know, you just had to be there. You had to be on it. And because I even worked with him as an assistant along with Lorraine Fields, Diane Day, and Jerry Reddick, and Michelle Simmons. But he was the man. You know, I mean, Lester was the man. He really was. Even when he was working with Diana Ross, it was. I mean, these guys created shows like Joe Layton did. You know, and I mean, again, that was show business. I mean, they took Vegas and made it into what it's supposed to be. Like the worst, like an art designer like Mr. Michael Cotton, who used to be in a rock group called the Tubes, who's done a lot of work in Vegas. I know he's like the big pirate ship thing. He created that at the Wynn Hotel. He did a lot of shows for Number Twain. I did some work with Bette Midler with him, and so these, like I said, he made Miley Cyrus, you know. The great Hannah Montana, and for Kenny Ortega, who's another good friend of mine, we all worked together a lot because Kenny became the major choreographer for Raquel. So that's how my relationship with Kenny Ortega and Mike Tyson became even bigger. And these guys are just phenomenal now, you know.
So you couldn't walk around all these people and not pick up a little bit of something from each one of them and, you know, put it into something of your own. And it's great. So let's take a quick commercial break.
Okay.
And when we come back, I would like to hear more about this, how you got your start and the greats that you worked with, but how you transitioned in your career as a result. And we'll be right back, ladies and gentlemen, right after this.
Since November 2016, the Black Gold movement has been working to create a new reality for Black people, one that we can own, control, and pass to our children. A Black nation within this nation. We need your help to create this by becoming a supporting member of the Black Gold Nation for just a monthly fee of $4. Invest by going to www.blackgold-wakandarising.com and clicking support now.
Hey, I've been meaning to ask you, where'd you get that lipstick?
It's Tanta's Cosmetics by Nadanya.
Girl, they have over 42 vibrant hues of the sheerest of pure to the boldness of cobalt blue.
Wow.
With exciting shades of nude, pink, red, and orange, and anything in between.
Well, I just love it. Can I find it online?
Yes, at TantasCosmetics.com.
It's a deal. I'm going on TantasCosmetics.com.
And you can find it at Macy's, 12 Oaks, Novi, Michigan, and Lenox Mall in Atlanta, Georgia.
It's Tanta's Cosmetics by Nadanya. Now, on with the show.
Right here on LasVegasHotRadio.com.
So welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to What's Up Las Vegas with your host, Lynelle Baker. And if you're just joining us, we've been talking to Mr. Dwight Baxter. Dwight Baxter has worked with some of everybody in the industry, some of all the classical greats in theater, from New York to Las Vegas. And before we went to a commercial break, we were talking about how he got his start and some of the productions that he's been in, major productions, and people that he's worked with. And so I'll let you kind of pick up where you left off, Dwight.
Sure, not a problem. Yeah, I forgot about one great lady of show business. I mean, she's on Broadway right now who I had an opportunity to work with. Her name is Cher. And Cher was who she is. I'm telling you, that woman is something else. I never forget those days. That was in Atlantic City and the tours in Canada as well as in Australia. But Cher was just a tremendous person to work for, too, as well. You know, I can't forget about her at all. And then, of course, from there, that led me into working with Miss Debbie Reynolds and a few other great ladies of show business as well, because I don't want to forget them at all. And again, as I was learning and then started doing films like I did, working with Lester, I started keeping my stay in New York City. And I started working with Lester again, like I just stated, because we started a film called Beat Street. And we did another film called Barry Gordy's Last Dragon. And that was my encounter again with the Gordy family. And that was a wonderful time, again, working with the Gordys as well. And so I remember one show that they were doing on Broadway, which was called, well, we never made it to Broadway, but it was a great show because Houston Grand Opera picked it up. And my dear friend Ted Ross came in and played the lead, and it was called Daddy Goodness. And it was a great show written by Chanel Perry. And we were supposed to be at the Winter Garden Theater, but guess who came and took our place? Cat. Oh. Okay. So, that was way back. But anyway, those were great times, and then the relationship with the Gordy family and Suzanne DePass and Roxanne and Robert. It's just, it was just good for me. I remember even working with Miss Nancy Levitska, from the Gordy family, from Motown, and because she was very tight with Mr. Joe Layton, who did a lot of work for Diana Ross. And so that was good because his Broadway show was called Barnum, P.T. Barnum, Barnum on Broadway. Yeah. All about circus. And so, and then also Joe also did a lot of work for Raquel as well. So I kind of, as I speak to you, you've noticed that it's kind of like a clique in a way, where we all kind of work together because we know each other. We know the formula. We know how it works. and you get to know each other. We're going to do this. Let's do the turnaround now. Step. Okay, I got it. You know the step, and then you can execute it well because you know what the choreographer or the director is looking for, and so you can get that grand applause from the audience once you finish the movement and working with the star or that leading lady. And so that was the great thing about working with people like directors and choreographers, Joe Layton, Harold Prince, and Lester Wilson, and Michael Peters. And so that was a great thing, and Kenny Ortega. And moving along, I noticed a wave of theater coming from African Americans. And a man named Shelley Garrett had a show called Beauty Shop. And I noticed a bunch of black people.
The play?
Yeah, this is a play. Yeah, Beauty Shop.
I remember
this is back in the 80s. Even people like Michael Matthews, and this is when a lot of things out of Detroit came in, and and promoters like Quentin Perry and Marvelous Marvin out of Hollywood, Beverly Hills, Marvin Webster. They was doing productions, and they were doing African American productions. And so, since I was a theater thespian, I wanted to know more about it. And I found out it was work for African Americans because, again, at that time when I was really working, you only maybe 1 or 2 or 3 blacks would be in a show, And not to say there was such a racism back then, but, things began to change. So we said, well, let's do our own thing, So the world became more acceptable for us all working together on stage, okay? So that's the way the times work. But I noticed a wave of African Americans going to the theater, and it shocked me. And I found out what it was. Because what we did in theater was we gave a concert, and we had to have 3 elements within a production of a theatrical show. You had to have the gospel in the gospel aspect, the comedian aspect, and the R&B star aspect in order to get the audience to come out. And so you put those ingredients into a African-American musical, and guess what? You have a winning piece. And people like Michael Matthews and Shelley Garrett were very good at doing that, and Dave Talbert. And so, I said, I could do that too. So my mama said, why don't you write your own show? I said, okay. Why don't you write your own show? I said, what do you mean, write your own? So I hooked up with a guy named John Kilgore of JFK Entertainment, who's real big with Sean Puffy Combs, and did a lot of work with him a lot. And the Levert family, from the late Gerald Levert, Sean, and of course the OJs, with Eddie, because I was the one who wrote the show, the Gerald Levert story, and I did it with the blessings of the family. Of course, Big Bert was in the show and everything, and it turned out to be pretty good. I think it should be still touring, but things have their way of doing what they do. But maybe they'll come back out again. We'll get a chance to do it even better. But like I said, it's all about show business. And then with that, I met a man named Matthew Knowles, who I met years ago through an organization called the People's Family Workshop, where his daughter, Beyonce, when they had the group Girl Time, was a part of. And he used to, that's when then I became, of course, Destiny's Child, then, of course, as Beyonce. But that was during the time here in Houston, Texas, that Matthew took over before Music World, and he was he was the chairman for the People's Family Workshop, and he did great with that. And so they asked me to direct a couple of shows. That's when I really first met Beyonce back then. And so I did a couple of shows with him, and with that I had Maurice Hines as a guest, and Ben Vereen, and under the leadership of Judy Foster and Dr. Howard Harris, who was the director of music and jazz here at TSU. I'm right now at Texas Southern University, an historical black college and university. And long to short.
Texas Southern, by the way, Dwight.
You get out of here.
Yes.
The Negro College. The Negro College.
Brother, she accepted there, but I decided to go to Fisk.
That's okay.
Because my grandmother's brother attended Fisk University.
Okay, well, that's good.
Go on.
Yeah. But anyway, working with Matthew was just a tremendous success. I mean, because he already knew it. Do your thing. Yeah. Do your thing, and I loved it. And so we came up with a show called Will a Real Man Please Stand Up, which we toured, which I had a host of stars in, And I even had one of the singers from Michelle Williams from Destiny's Child in the show at that time. I remember the night Kelly Rowland came out to the show, and it was just wonderful. It was wonderful. We toured all over. I mean,
I got to see that show, and you had a sympathetic audience even, because I was a few minutes late, and I came and I sat down, and I guess you're coming in, it's kind of quiet because you're late, and the person who you sat down in front of, they turn around and look at you like you coming in late, and it was Chris Rock.
Yeah, that was a star-studded show. Chris Rock was there, and the audience.
What are you doing?
Right, because that was the time. I think it was Monifa on stage with us, Gerald Levert, Sean Levert, Clifton Powell, who's now with Saint and Sinners. Okay, the big star, but Clifton Powell. I've had David Hollister. I had the late Ali Woodson. It was just a great show. Erica Atkins-Campbell of Mary. I mean, that was a cast. I mean, that was really a cast. Even that girl can sing from Trinity 5'7". Chanel Haynes. That girl ain't nothing but Gladys Knight. But anyway, moving right along. That girl can sing.
It was an amazing show.
I know, it was an amazing show. I mean, we toured. I remember being in Detroit. We stayed in Detroit, I think, 2 weeks. 2 or 3 weeks. And then we went down to Miami. I mean, we had a great, and that was another JFK, John F. Kilgore. John Kilgore was my manager, and still is my manager now, working with us at the time. And I remember Gerald Levert, before he passed, he came up to us because he would do a lot of guessing for us.
Very sad. I was at his funeral.
Yeah.
Very.
Yeah. He said, y'all got a tight. We were in D.C. He said, Dwight, this is the tightest operation I've ever been with. And I remember review, not to take away from my brother Tyler Perry, but we went to Carolinas, and I wanted to review. Dwight Baxter gives Tyler Perry a run for Medea. I'll never forget that review. I'll never forget it, because Tyler Perry is still on top. And but it was nice to be complimented like that, because I remember when Tyler first started, and like when you're a playwright and you're trying to get this thing started, you're from New Orleans, you're going to run through some money problems like we are. We ran through money problems too, and as getting things started, because there were some other shows I did prior to that, but it's all about getting stuff. But the thing is, you got to stay in it, and that's one thing about show business. You got to stay in it to win it. If you don't stay in show business, you won't win show business.
Absolutely. So I want to backtrack a little bit, because, I mean, the cast was wonderful. That's great. But will a real man please stand up? That's powerful. That's powerful. And, I mean, that's timeless. That play needs to actually be touring right now.
Really? You think so? Well, let me talk to Big John about that.
The relationships in the black community, with... You know what?
You're kind of right about that.
Educated women can't find husbands and things of that nature. Will a real man please stand up? But you don't know, who did not have the pleasure and, the privilege, I should say, of seeing the play. Tell us a little bit. Tell them what it was about.
The show was about this lawyer who was a corporate investment banker type, and then there was the other male was the big athletic type, and how we kind of take away from not being at home, not caring for the need of the wife, and you can have your job, but you got to find the balance. The show was about balance. Find the balance to keep the home, the mortgage due, and one of his, because we all got habits, we all got strongholds, he was a gambler, so and then I also had the side of the military, because he was a big time, he was a general in the United States Army, and he kept being on the side of, I got to do this work for my country, but never thought about, hey, you got a wife here at home, you got some kids here, and so that's what that story is all about. And of course, the athlete type, he just think he all of that, so, but you got to find that balance. And so if you're going to take on the wife and take on the family, then there must be balance, and you got to pray, and you got to keep God in it, to pare down the strongholds, because the weapons of our warfare are carnal. Okay, but mighty. and pulling down the strongholds through God. So, but that's what the show was about. And it was wonderful having Erica Atkins-Campbell in the show because, I think Mary had just started, and she was just a tremendous. And then I had others that came in as well when she was not available because, of course, they became big time Mary. But it was just wonderful working with Erica because Erica then did some great things for me with the military because I started working for the military because that's during the Desert Storm time.
I remember.
Yeah, the Desert Storm. Because Kirk Franklin, Donnie McClurkin,
Cher.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right. And so Erica came down to host the show. It was wonderful that Kirk came out for me, Donnie McClurkin came out for me, C.C. Winan, Marvin Winan, they all came out for me, Trinity 5-7, West Yolanda Adams, West, I won't say West Montgomery, but not the man West. Forgive me, West, I can't remember your full name, but he's a wonderful singer. But those people came out for me, to celebrate, and to celebrate those who serve. And that was working with MWR and Mr. General and General Remo Butler and General Sheila Baxter. They both retired now, but they were brigadier generals. And we were at Fort Hood, and it was which is one of the largest bases here in the United States. But at that time, General Hammond and General Odia, Onedia, he was he was in charge of the base at that time, and also General Hammond. I mean, not General Hammond, but General Vincent Brooks. Yeah, because we were all on stage. I remember because Brooks that's a great family of West Point people. And they were happy to accept me, and I accepted them. And I had an opportunity to learn, because I came from a military family, but I had an opportunity to learn what a soldier or service member goes through. I mean, I spent about, at least 5 weeks on post at Fort Hood. Then 6 months.
Wow.
And so, and it was, I was with K-Talk Industries and Mr. Ron Foster and Gerald Butler, and it was just wonderful, just being there and to learn.
And I would imagine a military audience is like the most grateful,
Oh yeah! Oh my God! The families. I mean, they turn out. They turn out. I mean, they were there, and it was great because what was so good about it. It was nice to know that, and it was actually one of the greatest gospel events that's ever been put on a military installation, and to this day. And what was so great about it was that they wanted to do it. They wanted to do it. They wanted to give their time. Just like some of our C&W artists, they wanted to give their time. Just like some of the R&B artists, they wanted to give their time to give back for those who serve. While we're here actually talking on the phone, somebody's over there shooting a bullet.
Absolutely.
So, and that's what it's all about, giving back. So I'm glad that MWR accepted me to do that, and working with them, and it was just wonderful. I mean, again, just wonderful.
And amazing on your part as well to take that production there. And so let's take a commercial break, and back I want to hear about some of the projects that you have up and coming. So, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be right back after this.
Sync us in your car and download our app on your phone. Las Vegas Hot Radio, the heart and soul of Las Vegas music.
Hey, I've been meaning to ask you, where'd you get that lipstick?
It's Tanta's Cosmetics by Nadanya.
Girl, they have over 42 vibrant hues of the sheerest of pure to the boldness of cobalt blue.
Wow.
With exciting shades of nude, pink, red, and orange, and anything in between.
Well, I just love it. Can I find it online?
Yes, at TantasCosmetics.com.
It's a deal. I'm going on TantasCosmetics.com.
And you can find it at Macy's, 12 Oaks, Novi, Michigan, and Lenox Mall in Atlanta, Georgia.
It's Tanta's Cosmetics by Nadanya.
All across the country, people are coming together to speed up what we can learn about health. The All of Us Research Program is calling on 1 million people to join us as we try to change the future of health. For your family, for future generations, for all of us. Visit joinallofus.org and find out how you can become one in a million.
So welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to What's Up Las Vegas with your host, Lynelle Baker. If you're just now joining us, we have been having a wonderful interview with Mr. Dwight Baxter. Dwight has worked with some of the classical greats, Sammy Davis Jr., you name it. Before we went to commercial break, we were talking about his mama told him to write his own play, and he did, and it was a huge success. But, of course, he had all the connections, having been on Broadway, you know, working in New York, working in Vegas. So you wanted to backtrack just a little bit and talk about some more things that we kind of missed in there to what you're doing today. So take it away.
Yeah, what I wanted to mention was, you know, back here in Houston, Texas, back in the 70s and late 60s, as you know, segregation and all that. There was a lady, when I was about to go into high school performance, but she took us in as dancers. Matter of fact, Debbie Allen was there with us, too. Her name was Patsy Swayze. She's the mama of Patrick Swayze, the great Patrick Swayze, Dirty Dancing, also Disney. Well, you know, I'm not talking about Disney Parade.
Everybody knows who
Ghost.
Patrick Swayze.
Okay. Well, Patrick Swayze was my roommate in New York City. Patrick was my roommate in New York City. His wife, Lisa Hoppanimi, we all went to school together, HSPVA, High School of Performing and Visual Arts. And his mother I never forget, she would tell us, you know, and at that time, Debbie had just left, and she went on to Howard University and started working with George Faison's company. But it was Debbie Allen and Patsy who just gave us that, because we would call, it was five of us, the Dirty Five. We call ourselves from Houston, because we could dance. You know, Ricky Odom, Kathy Singleton, Vita Jackson, Bobby Walker, you know, and myself. And we and Dwayne Phelps. And we went to Patsy's, and that's actually where I met Arthur Mitchell, because she would take us to these regional ballet festivals. And back then, you know, they didn't take too much to blacks that well, you know. And I didn't realize, because all I wanted to do was just dance, so I didn't realize, you know, the prejudice and all that stuff at that time, you know, because because, you know, we all leave school or leave a convention, dance convention, just there talking to the kids, you know. Young ladies my age, we the same age, a young man the same age, you know, but I'm black, he's white, you know, and she's white and I'm black, you know. And when they got to the cars, the mom and dad picked them up, it's like, why are you talking to him? You know, and I didn't get that. And I didn't get it. I didn't understand it because we didn't see it. The kids didn't see it. The kids didn't see it. All we wanted to do was just dance. And Patsy Swayze took us in and taught us more about dancing, jazz and classical ballet, and just learning the basics, you know. And then that's when Ruth Denny started the High School Performing Arts under the HISD. And that's when we got more and more interested in what's going on in the world of dance, in the world of theater. Because they had different arts organizations for African Americans that were around, you know. But it was still on a low level. It wasn't like New York City, like your NECs or your you know, knowing who another theater company is on, like the Arts and Culture of 125th Street on top of the Apollo. It wasn't like that under Millicent Taylor. It wasn't like that. It was just we just didn't know. We in the South, okay? We didn't know. And then to see somebody sing opera, we're like, what? You can sing like that, you know. We just didn't know. We were just hidden. But as time grew on, and Patsy and started teaching us more, and then the growth of being going to high school of the performing arts taught us more. And then one day we saw a TV show called Room 222. So we used to pretend we were in Room 222, going to school every day. You know, so that was our kind of motivation, and just to think that we can make it, you know. But that was then, and it's in my memory bank, you know. And I say that because
the Fame. Remember the TV show?
Yeah, I did some with Fame. Yeah, of course, yeah, you know, with Debbie. Come on now. Yeah. And so, yes, of course. Yeah. because that's our homegirl, Miss Al, Galicia and Tex and everybody. But yeah, I mean, that's a real sister. Even my dear friend Lauren Anderson, who was the great prima ballerina of Houston Ballet back in the day, who's just retired, but still there with the company. But yeah, of course, with Debbie, we're family. We know what it takes. We know what it's about. We know you got to have the second and third and fourth, fifth jobs till you get the other job, the real job. So to make the ends meet, we know all about this. So I mean, it's just the way it is. But we want to now reach out to the younger ones, the new millennials, who are trying to do what they can do in the world of dance, and just let them know, hey, it wasn't an easy road.
Yeah.
It was not an easy road. And, of course you got to go to class every day. You got to put your time in it. I don't care what you're doing. I don't care if you're a singer, actor, or dancer. You got to go to class. You got to get your foundation together so you can be out there and compete on an international level, like Mr. Mitchell says. But it takes all that. But I find today it's like a microwave. I mean, think you can dance and all that. I mean, but it's okay. I wish they had TV shows like that. We would dance because we could jump and do all those tricks too. But they didn't have it back then. The only thing I think we had was Star Search. Okay, but now it's a whole new world.
I remember Star Search, Dance Fever, Solid Gold.
Right, Solid Gold. Oh, right, Jamila. Right, yeah.
I was a little girl.
You were a little. Oh my God.
Yeah, you said something that I want to kind of go back to. And you said about the racism that you guys didn't even notice it.
No, we didn't.
There, but it kind of wasn't there, even though it was there. To be honest with you, even though that was the time when there was segregation and all that type of thing, I think people were closer back then. I think racism is worse today than it was then.
Oh my! You know what? In some ways you're right. Because we're a chameleon of colors, a big jambalaya of colors here in the United States, especially here in Houston, one of the biggest diverse cities in the United States. But it's like, I'm not trying to talk about different people or different races or ethnics or background, but if you can do it, you can do it. Why discriminate?
Yeah,
if you can sing, you can sing.
I'm doing something, anything. I don't care, what I'm doing. I want the best. I want the best in my production. I don't care what color they are.
Exactly. That's it. You want the best in the production.
The prettiest.
Yeah, I mean, violinist, Tiffany player. You want the best. The drummer, the guitar player. The horn section. You want the best. And which brings me to something I'm working on right now. In collaboration and working with the great centennial of 100 years of something called the Great Migration, the Harlem Renaissance, when the Negro was in vogue. Okay? And well, the name of the show is called Swingin' Savoy. And I've been talking with, of course, my dear friends and everything that work along with me, myself and Miss Carla Earl and Mr. John Kilgore of JFK Management, and Mr. Michael Cotton, who I was mentioning to you, one of the greatest set designers and scenic artists and production designers of any show. I mean, Michael did Michael Jackson. This is it. All of Michael Jackson's stuff. He did, like I said, Shania Twain. He did Miley Cyrus. I mean, Bette Midler. All of Vegas. But he's going to be working with us as a production designer on the show. And the name of the show, again, is called Swinging Savoy. My dream cast, of course, is it's all about the Savoy Ballroom and the Lindy Hop. The Lindy Hop. That's right. The Big Apple. That's right. Well, I had an opportunity to meet one of the Lindy Hop dancers. Remember those dancers being in the Marx Brothers films, like Day at the Races and Hell's a Poppin'? You wonder who they were. Who the black folks? Who the black folks? Well, that was Whitey's Lindy Hoppers. So we're going to give honor to Whitey's Lindy Hoppers, my dance family, and with a show called Swingin' Savoy. And I spoke with a young man who was part of that era somewhat. His name was Mr. Maurice Hines. Wonderful. And so Maurice is working it out. He'll be starting the show, working it out as Mr. Herbert White, a.k.a. Whitey. I'm hoping to we're hoping to get the likes of Mr. Harry Connick Jr. to play Mo Gill as the owner of the Savoy Ballroom. Did you know that Mo Gill managed Rosetta Tharpe, the great gospel singer?
No, I didn't.
Did you? Okay. Well, I have management reach out to Miss C.T. Winans and Miss Yolanda Adams if they'd be interested in working with us on the show as well. And then Christopher Williams to play Mr. Cab Calloway.
Oh, that would be awesome.
And so we're going to rebirth that scene of the Nicholas Brothers because this show is about tapping and singing and dancing. It's a great musical review about the Harlem Renaissance and the days at the home of Happy Feet, the Savoy Ballroom. And myself, so don't nobody else even try and do it. Okay, we're going to do it. All right, we already started. We just sold out 3 shows at the Mill Outdoor Theater, so don't even try to do it, everybody, okay? But, Carla Earl, who's a great Vegas person, too, and dancer, she's working with me. She's my director and choreographer on the show. And we're going to bring in a few other people as consultants. And I'm happy about the show because we've always lived it because we lived within the era because I did Bubbling Brown Sugar on Broadway, so and I didn't really know about I'm gonna be truthful. I really didn't know much about the Lindy Hop myself for the past 3 years.
You really go into. You mentioned that you were in the Wiz. Now you said Beauty Shop, Bubbling Brown Sugar. What other plays?
Oh wow, God, okay, Broadway shows. I did grind. I did dance. I did grind. I did dancing. I did grind, dancing, Three Musketeers. The grind, dance, Three Musketeers, Bubbling Brown Sugar, Ain't Misbehaving. What else?
What did you say? Race?
Ain't Misbehaving. No, I didn't do race.
Ain't Misbehaving.
Ain't Misbehaving. Yeah.
Okay.
I did a company UB. Let's see what else. Oh God, I'm getting all 3 Musketeers, grind, Tremendisha.
Too many to remember, huh?
Women of the Year with Raquel Welch, with Lauren Bacall, with Debbie Reynolds, all 3 ladies. That was a wonderful show. That was a piece that John Cannon and Fred Evans, who I finally had an opportunity to meet, who wrote this big song called New York, New York, and they're great guys. And thank God for John Cannon and the late, great Fred Evans. But John Cannon is a wonderful person, and I'm hoping maybe he can write a song for us for our show, Swinging Savoy. Because I remember speaking with John because he remembers that era because he was in the Air Force. He told me he was in the Air Force, and they used to have those stage door canteens and everything. So I'm trying to put elements of that into the Swinging Savoy piece where it becomes that era, because we're taking it, from a time period where, we were coming out of slavery, but we're skipping the beat a little bit and we jump right into the Savoy era, of the big band, the Duke Ellington, the Cab Calloway, the Count Basie, what's the guy's name? The other band leader, Benny Goodman. Yeah, Benny Goodman. That era, so that, we can captivate, not miss anything, bottom line. And that's why I was hosting it through the Lindy Hoppers, Herbert Whitey's Lindy Hoppers. And so, and it's all about that and that great migration. Here's when blacks and whites danced together. That was the only ballroom in the United States of America where white and blacks danced together. White and blacks played on stage together. They sang together. That's what this show was all about. It's a fun-filled show. It's an American musical. Yeah, and it's an American musical, And see, the Lindy Hop was really the first dance, And I'm going to tell you a joke, okay? Because Norma Miller told me this. She's the last surviving Lindy Hop, and she just passed. Norma, and she gave me my blessing to do this show, okay? And so Norma said to me, do you know why it's called a jitterbug? I said, why? Okay, now, I don't know if the world knows this, but I'm going to say it to you now. Well, one day, I think she said Benny Goodman, and there were some people over there dancing, and he just happened to say, look at them jitterbugs over there. And guess what?
What?
It was a jitterbug dance. Because he saw a group of black folks over there, and I'm talking segregation, hear me out. It's back then, and Norma Miller told me this, and she said, you know what, the word jitterbug is not a dance. Jitterbug came out of us because we were dancing around, and he thought, there you go, they was called jitterbugs.
Wow.
Got it right. Okay? So that came out of a woman who you see on TV now, who's been on all over the world, Sweden, London, everywhere, on the BBC, talking about the Lindy Hop, and she used to work a lot with Red Fox. And so that, now listen, I never forget while she was here, I would walk into a hotel room every night because we would do these master classes, and she would say, you know what, why aren't you guys really, really doing this? She said to me, like, this is in honor of America. This is in honor of our people. This is the first dance. She said they, as you know, use a trampoline to do a flip on. Well, they used mattresses. She told me how they all did it, and it was just wonderful. I said, wow, listen to this piece of history, and it should be documented. So I have now, to this day, I'm documenting everything, have film footage and everything. Thanks to some great people who were, who brought me into this, Andrea Cody's and all that, and Dan Houston, that brought me into this. And now we're just going to take it to the next level. And myself and Carla Earl and John Kilgore, to make this a bigger show, because it's all about the Lindy Hop. It's not just one person of the Lindy Hop. It's all the Lindy Hoppers. It's all of the big band sound era. It's all of that. And so this is where it becomes a different piece. And now we're just hoping that with the stars that I've mentioned to you, will join with us to make it a great, great production, okay? And with the works of a Michael. Oh, yeah. And listen, I got Michael Cotton with me on this show. Okay? So the great designer, production designer. So it's going to be a fabulous show. It's going to be a fabulous show. Yes, ma'am.
So when can we anticipate?
2020, my dear, 2020. It'll be 100 years of the Harlem Renaissance, the Great Migration. And yes,
we're going to travel the USA and Europe.
We're going to travel USA and abroad because we have, and thanks to JFK Mass, been invited by the Apollo Theater to come there and to perform.
Awesome.
Yes, in New York City on 125th Street. Okay. Yes, ma'am.
So we'll tell you more about it when we come back from this commercial break, ladies and gentlemen, and we'll be right back after this.
Internet radio's the new home for adult R&B and hip-hop. Tell somebody about the new Las Vegas Hot Radio, the heart and soul of Las Vegas music.
Hey, I've been meaning to ask you, where'd you get that lipstick?
It's Tanta's Cosmetics by Nadanya.
Girl, they have over 42 vibrant hues of the sheerest of pure to the boldness of cobalt blue.
Wow.
With exciting shades of nude, pink, red, and orange, and anything in between.
Well, I just love it. Can I find it online?
Yes, at TantasCosmetics.com.
It's a deal. I'm going on TantasCosmetics.com.
And you can find it at Macy's, 12 Oaks, Novi, Michigan, and Lenox Mall in Atlanta, Georgia. It's Tanta's Cosmetics by Nadanya.
Since November 2016, the Black Gold Movement has been working to create a new reality for Black people, one that we can own, control, and pass to our children. A Black nation within this nation. We need your help to create this by becoming a supporting member of the Black Gold Nation for just a monthly fee of $4. Invest by going to www.blackgold-wakandarising.com and clicking support now.
WLHR, Las Vegas Hot Radio, the heart and soul of Las Vegas music.
Now, on with the show.
Right here on LasVegasHotRadio.com.
So welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to What's Up Las Vegas with your host, Lynelle Baker. And we're still here with Mr. Dwight Baxter. We are having an amazing interview, and while Dwight has a pretty amazing story, he's worked with some of the most amazing people in show business, and he's done a lot of things. He had an amazing play that traveled all over the world with executive producer Matthew Knowles. We talked about his stunts on Broadway. Right. He has a new project coming up, The Swinging Savoy. Don't let me mess that up. What we want, Dwight, is our listeners are going to want to be able to follow the progress of this because I know it's still in the works. So we're going to need all of your social media.
Sure.
And, if there's a website, connected to the production, etc. So they
right.
So they'll know when they can
expect the great Maurice Hines to come out on stage. Okay.
Exactly.
Well, anyway, no. Of course, through our management, you can contact us, and that phone number is 201-397-7114. Again, that's 201-397-7114. That's Mr. John Kilgore, JFK Management and JFK Entertainment. And then there's also the People's Family Workshop. You can find it online, peoplesfamilyworkshopmonline.com. Yeah, People's Family Workshop on pfwonline.com. That's what it's under. And actually, the website is being reconstructed as we speak right now. And just because I want to appeal to all the millennials and everybody. And and then we also have a Facebook page, Swingin' Savoy, the Swingin' Savoy. And you see some photos and stuff. And then we'll be adding more to it, as well as the live footage and etc., trailers and everything on the production of Swingin' Savoy.
Are you still doing casting? I know you have some.
Yeah. Matter of fact, in 2020, we'll start casting in L.A. in January, I believe, in Houston in February 2020. The date to be announced. It'll be just check it out online. January is L.A. casting. Houston, Texas casting is in February 2020. And in November 2019, we'll be doing New York City auditions. And again, you can just contact 201-397-7114. Yes, yeah, right, yeah. Of course, I want my Detroit folks because I got some good folks in Detroit. I got some good folks in Detroit. Yeah, I do. And
so for some. Yeah, we're looking for as well.
Yeah. I mean, they're big parts and everything. I mean, not everybody can be Ella Fitzgerald or Cab Calloway or Duke Ellington, but there can be great Lenny hoppers. And the great thing about this show, you got to be at a tab and you got to have some excellent dance training, and just be flexible. Be that triple threat that Bob Fosse said: sing, dance, and act. And just know how to bring it on stage. Just know how to bring it, because it's a song and dance show. It's a song and dance show with that intertwines with dialogue and narration, but it's a great show. And again, I want it's a fun musical. Swingin' Savoy is a fun musical that tells that story about our great of the Harlem Renaissance era. And so that's what it's all about. So we're taking it from the big band even throughout poets and everyone that were existing back then, and the fashion. I mean, women really dressed back then. Oh my God!
Oh yeah, I love that.
Yeah, they do. I mean, so it's going to be a fashion show on stage. I'm going to tell you that right now. Okay. I mean, I just put it like this. If everyone remembers the show on the 20th Century with Imogene Coca back in the day, then this is not so much that, but it's going to flare with that kind of flair of style and class. Okay. Awesome. Okay. And so and if you did see Brother Brown Sugar, then you would have a little bit of taste of each other, because we're going to see the epic of Bill Robinson, of course, and we're going to rebirth that old Nicholas Brother routine of some stormy weather that Maurice Hines will be restaging for us. Okay? And listen, so it's going to be a great show. We look forward to the auditions coming up in 2019 in November, and the 2020s in January and February in L.A. and Houston, Texas.
Okay.
Maybe come to Vegas.
Guys, got that number and that website. And so, Dwight, in closing, what message would you like to leave with our listeners? What would you like to convey? Because the premise of our show is to inspire people. And you have an amazing story. Some people feel like you left Houston and you went to New York and you just got lucky. It wasn't a lot of hard work. So we want them to know that it's hard work. Mm-hmm. We also want people to know, even though it's hard work, it's still achievable.
Oh, yeah. It's very much achievable. You just got to stay in the race. You got to stay in the race. What's the scripture? The race is not given to the swift, but those who endure till the end.
Those who endure to
the end. That's what it's all about. Because believe me,
don't give up.
That's it, because he didn't bring you here for nothing. He didn't give you that gift, which is your treasure.
I don't know if you remember the electrifying mojo.
Because that's your treasure, that gift.
What did he say? Time not, knot and keep hanging. Don't give up.
Don't give up. Don't give up. Because that's all Bob Fosse would tell me. That's all Maurice and Gregory would tell me, Hines. That's all Lester Wilson would tell me. And Arthur Mitchell. Don't give up. That's what Kenny Ortega always said to me.
Well, you guys
don't
heard
give
it.
up.
So that's the answer. That's the ticket to success, to just keep enduring, endure to the end. Don't give up. Be relentless. Just keep going. No matter what happens, you keep going. If everything falls apart, then you pick it all up and you start over again, but keep going.
Mm-hmm. Yes, that's right. That's right. And that's what it's all about. Because
right.
Bette Midler always said, if you didn't love it, don't do it. Okay, all right.
It's not worth your time. If you don't love it, then do something else. We have truly enjoyed you, Dwight. We have truly enjoyed you. This has been a treat. And, I'll be there opening night. So
okay, listen, first front row. No, don't put you on front row. Put you in like the 10th row. So you can really see that. Okay. I'll put you in the center of the theater. In the center of the theater. Of the theater. Okay, so you can see everything.
From looking up. Okay.
Right, thank you. There you go, sister. All right.
I'm looking forward to that, Dwight. Thank you so much, and we'll see you again.
Okay, listen. I want to give a shout out to some people I know in Vegas. Mary O and Cheryl Parks. Okay.
Okay.
Mary O and Cheryl Parks. Hello, y'all. Okay, take care. Thank you.
You want to give shouts out to people in Detroit? Because this is going to air on Detroit Hot Radio.
Oh, Gina Ellis. Oh, my friends. What's the guy? He does all the radio spots. Oh my God. Oh God, I can't think of his name. His wife works at the music hall. Oh God, Gerald Smith. Yeah. That's not Gerald Smith. What's that man's name? Gerald. And
I don't know.
I can't think of Gerald's name. Voiceover Productions. Hello, Voiceover Productions. Yeah. I would give a great shout out to them because he would call me DJ every day. Okay, Dwight, don't we changing this again? But no, Gerald over at Voiceover for Gerald McBride and his wife Karen McBride at the music hall. We give a great shout out to them and all my great fans, and those who are from Detroit. Curtis, Vonnie Curtis Hall. He's in LA now, but those are some good friends. Dina Ellis, the gentleman who worked with me a lot. God, what's her name? Not him. What is that child's name? I can't remember.
We're going to have to start some crossword puzzles.
Hey, it's okay. See, I'm just a little. I'm 63 now. It's been a long road, but it's okay, and it's great. I loved it all the way. And thank you, Detroit,
right.
because Detroit's always good to me. Thank you so much. Thank you.
And folks, we'll see you this time next week, or you'll hear us.
Oh, yeah, Roxanna Gordy. Hey, girl, what's going on? I forgot about my Gordy people. And Robert, okay, thank you. Okay, all right, thank you. I forgot about them. Okay, bye-bye.
Listen to us next week, guys. Same place, date, and time on What's Up Las Vegas with your host, Lynelle Baker, on Las Vegas, HotRadio.com. Dwight?
Yes.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
WLHR, Las Vegas Hot Radio, the heart and soul of Las Vegas music.